Hello.
Hi.
What's today?
Today's September 11th, 2011.
And how old were you when the towers fell?
I was 13 years old.
Okay. And where were you?
I was in my 8th grade social studies class.
So can you just recap?
What I can remember.
Yeah.
I remember having to actually stand up and so he pulled out his TV so we can watch the news. And when we all saw that it hit the tower, I actually remember crying only because I knew my grandmother lived really close to me. And my aunt actually lived, I believe it was a Guardian building that was around there. She was actually working there. And like I just got so worried that they were hurt. So I didn't really like understand like what was happening, why it was happening or anything like that. I was only 13. So I then went into my art class, and the art teacher was hysterical crying. And we all sat there in silence, and she just asked us to just not do like we're just gonna sit there in remembrance because at that time the second tower was hit.
Were you watching it on TV when it hit? Did you see it?
The first one, but the second one we were already in art class, so we were listening to it actually on the news. She had a radio.
Right.
And we were just listening to it then, and she's hysterical crying.
You were in Staten Island, right?
Yeah. And she was crying, and like we're still young. We didn't really understand too much of what was happening. But the rest of the day is still kind of a blur to me. I think that was my last class of the day. I don't remember. Or they let us leave. No, they let us leave early that day. She did. And my mother came to get me, and my mother was just like quiet. And so I turned to her and I asked her, "Is Grandma okay?" She looked at me. She's like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, good." She's like, "Yeah, I called her. She's fine." So I then asked, "Is Titi Sori okay?" She said, "Yeah." She actually didn't go to work today, so she was lucky. And I was just like, that was like a sigh of relief. It was just like, okay, good. But other than that, my mother really didn't want to hear more about it because it was depressing, this happening. So she just shielded us from the rest of it. So when we went to school, then everyone was quiet and different.
Did you notice people like being more nicer to each other, or everyone like was going through the same kind of thing? Like, did you notice that everyone was like in the same state? Like everyone was like in an emotional state. Like everyone was like real laid back, or they still like bugging out.
It was more like a gloomy kind of back at my school. Like it's not like people were like, "Oh, are you okay?" Like everyone was just quiet. Like, It wasn't anything like.
So you really didn't watch the TV or watch the news and know anything?
In school.
Only in school?
Yeah, my mother really she put it on TV, but it was no choice because it was on every station. She didn't want to watch it. She didn't want us to watch it because it was just.
It was good that your mom shielded you for that, and now that you think back and you've seen my reflection of what happened that day, and now you think about like today. Like, how do you feel about today? Like, you didn't lose anybody today. I mean, but you still.
You know, but I'm not gonna say sympathy because that's not like it's not. It's still more like a
Empathy. Yeah.
I don't like what happened that day. I don't think anyone did.
I have a question though.
What?
When we have children, what are you going to tell them about that day? Like, what would you like them to know? Would you want to set any kind of tradition for remembrance of this day? Because you know how Memorial Day, everyone parties and does the barbecue and stuff like that? Like, I feel like Memorial Day shouldn't be for that. It's, well, you know, you spend time with your family, but a lot of people take it out of context just to party that day and be off that day.
Not really to party. It's more to celebrate, not really the deaths, but more of the people who
Their lives and died for us.
So it's like, you know, in a way that's what they celebrate. It's not like, some people look at it like, yeah, it's a party, but...
So how would you want our kids to...
Just like that.
I wouldn't want them to know the history.
Yeah, of course. And they're going to learn it in school, because you know that's going to be in history.
But I don't want my kids to learn
They can learn more
what's in the history. I want them to learn and understand and reflect, and I want them to, I don't know, I just want them to know from our view, and we lived it. All right, thank you for your interview. I like your shirt.
Well, signing out.
Peace.